We have created our web server on Linode using Ubuntu 22.04, and we have the IP address and we can access to it. However, what we want to do next, it is to assign a domain name so that we can actually access it. How can we do that? Alright, let's have a look. Alright, the first thing we need is to create a new file which will contain all of the Terraform settings for our domain, and I call it domain.tf. It will be automatically pulled from the extension by Terraform, so I don't actually need to do any imports, etc. And the first item I'm going to add is a Linode domain, which will contain the SOA email for my domain. So it will be like hostmaster@my-domain. However, this domain should actually come from a variable. So I'm gonna add it to my list of variables. I'm gonna add a new variable for my domain called linode_domain. So now we're back at our domain.tf, where we can actually make use of the variable. So we're going to create our domain variable for our SOA email. And as I said, of type master. Then we're going to create our the other resources, which are all of them going to be of type Linode domain record, and we need to create type A, 4 times a cname www. Then we're gonna have an MX record for our email, a text record for the email, a text of type dmarc, and finally a CAA record for our certificate. And essentially, starting from the A record, we want to put a type of record type A, which is going to target our IP address of the server, the IPv4 of the IP address. And then the next one is the AAAA record, which is going to point to the IPv6 address of our server. Then we're gonna record the www name of the record, which will point to the domain. Then we need an MX record, which will target our mail.our domain record. And then we're gonna need a text SPF domain, then a text, which essentially just a text record for our domain ID, and then a text dmarc record for our record, and then finally the CIA record, which instead will essentially allow our certificate to work on the domain. At this point we did everything. Let's open up the terminal and let's have a look if it worked. So we just need to do a Terraform plan, and now we're gonna give it the domain for our Linode domain variable, and in my case the domain is called fitfoot.site. The mistake I made is that I called everything instance. However, actually I called everything web_server. So let's change this and let's try this one again. Also, the element function needs a second parameter which I need to add. Alright, let's try again to do a Terraform plan to see if everything has been fixed correctly. And it looks like it is, so let's do a Terraform apply. And let's select yes to proceed with the creation of our domain for the instance. Note that while I was doing this, I had a bad gateway timeout, which was actually essentially a network issue that I've experienced. However, I have been able to recover from the error by simply rerunning the job. So if you get a similar issue, all you have to do is rerun the Terraform apply and everything should be fine. Now with the magic of video editing, we will jump to the creation completed of all our resources. Alright, let's have a look now at the panel that all the resources have been created correctly in our domain panel. So we just go on the Akamai Linode, click on domains, and in our fitfood.site domain, which is the one that we are interested in. And what we're gonna see that all of the records have been created. Now, if you bought a domain with different hosting such as Namecheap, I have another video on the channel that shows you how to point the Namecheap records to Linode, but it works for other ones as well. See you in the next video, bye bye.